Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 214. We see Ford's EV business growing quite nicely in February, and GM loses their executive for software and service. And Volkswagen seems to have trouble in Europe with EV sales. And Tesla shows they are still on target in China. And Tesla has blacklisted Cybertruck's owner over resale policy. And SpaceX launched the Starship this week and cruised around the planet. And Volkswagen is saying they will have software-defined vehicles in 2028. So, only 16 years after Tesla introduced it. So I guess we know how far behind they are now. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
We see Ford's EV business growing quite nicely in February, even though they said there was an EV slowdown. And we have heard nothing else from Volkswagen, GM and Ford about how their EV demand is slowing down over the last 6 to 8 months. But then we see Ford sales numbers in February and the numbers tells a different story. In February, Ford sold over 165,000 vehicles in the US, up over 9% year over year. The year-to-date result is over 311,000, up 7% year over year, so that is pretty good for the overall car business for Ford. But there's even better news for the car company that said the EVs were slowing down. Ford's all-electric vehicle sales last month in February amounted to 6,368 units, which is up 81% year over year. So how is that slowing down? And the EV share of the brand's total volume also improved to 3.8% compared to 2.3% a year ago. All three Ford EV models contributed to the growth. The Ford Mach-E was up 64% year over year. The F-150 Lightning was up 93% and the E-Transit was up 113% year over year. So really good to see some growth in February this year for Ford's EVs. So far this year, Ford sold more than 11,000 electric vehicles in the US, which is 26% more than a year ago. So, like I said before, there is no EV slowdown. The old guys are just not seeing the high demand they hoped for because they are up against the likes of the world's best-selling car that is also an EV. So because they are not able to do what they said they would and have to cut back on their insane fast EV growth target, they are just making excuses to why that is. There is no demand slowdown in EVs in general. As we know, the best-selling car in the world is electric. But the old guys will just grow slower than they thought. I guess the competition was not coming for Tesla, but for the legacy automakers. But their EV sales will of course grow in 2024, as both GM and Ford comes from a very low basis. So nice to see the good growth in Ford's EVs in February. Let's see if that trend will continue throughout the year. Before we jump back into more news story, you might be wondering, how do I keep up with all this news from so many news outlets? Well, my go-to news source is Ground News, the sponsor of this video, as this is not your typical news outlet. This is a news comparison platform, so I don't just get one article from one news source, I get 60,000 articles daily, all organized to allow me to see the different perspective on the same story, and they reveal the political leaning and reliability of the different news sources. Thanks to independent third-party news monitoring organizations, you get to see not just what is being reported, but also the potential bias behind it. Like in this news story about most automotive driving systems aren't good at making sure drivers pay attention. And as you can see, I have access to 71 articles about this topic, and I can see if the outlet is politically leaning left or right or center. And as you can see, many like to use Tesla Tesla in the headline. And the most important thing is that you can actually see how reliable these outlets are, which I found just as important as their political bias. They have even made an election page for you Americans where you will find all the news about the election in one place, so you can see all the articles there is about the different candidates and so on, and of course still with the political bias shown for everyone to see. Very cool. I have been using Ground News for a long time now and can honestly say this is a powerful tool of cutting through media bias and staying informed. So go to ground.news/bestinTesla to check it out. You can subscribe through my link for as little as $1 a month or get 40% off unlimited access with the Vantage subscription, which is the one I'm using. By subscribing, you're not just supporting me, you are also backing an independent platform dedicated to enhancing transparency in the news. So a big thanks to Ground News for sponsoring this video. And Tesla is still ahead of last year's sales numbers in China despite increasing competition. Well, Tesla is still on track with the BEV sales in China. As the Tesla China factory is fully ramped up now, we can't really expect a lot of growth from Tesla China sales anymore. But if you listen to the mainstream media, you would think that Tesla is tanking in China right now, but that is simply not true. Tesla is still a tiny bit ahead from last year. So is still on track to do what they did last year, or maybe a tiny bit better, and deliver over 600,000 BEVs in China. So if people think that is bad, well, that's fine. But remember, last year, the entire Volkswagen Group sold 191,000 BEVs in China. So Tesla is selling 3 times as many units. I just can't see how that is bad sales numbers from China. And remember how Leonard Lopez, yes, that Lopez.
But what Tesla doesn't have right now is a factory. So that's a problem.
Said that Tesla should sell between 150 to 300,000 cars in China, according to her sources. If they could do that, they would probably have a big impact and keep a foothold in China. And Tesla sold over 600,000 units last year. So we are still waiting for Leonard Lopez to come out and say, wow, Tesla, you did it. You did have a huge impact and a very, very strong foothold in China, as you are selling more than double the amount I talked about. Congratulations, you made it. But she's not really a journalist, but just an Elon hater. So she's just continuing to try to spread some more FUD about Tesla, even though they exceeded her wildest expectations in China. And despite the increasing competition in China, Tesla looks to be able to sell just as many cars this year as they did last year. And do you remember that Volkswagen once said that they would be able to overtake Tesla as a global leader in the EV sales? Well, last year, not just Volkswagen, but the entire German car industry sold just short of 1.4 million BEVs, and Tesla sold 1.82 million EVs. So let's see if they can overtake Tesla combined before we start talking about Volkswagen as a real contender to take on Tesla, as they are nowhere near to do that at the moment. But Exile on X put all the numbers of the BEV market into this great article or thread on X, where he shared these great chart he has made. And here is a one showing the global BEV market share. And you can see Tesla and BYD are the two all-dominating forces. To find the leader, according to the President of the United States, is like finding Waldo. Very difficult. But you can see them down here in that little tiny green box. So let's not talk about GM and leaders in the same sentence again before they are actually, well, just in the top 20, for crying out loud. GM and their EV business is still nothing but the biggest joke ever in the car industry. Let's see if they are ever going to be able to change that.
You led, and it matters.
Because we could also take a look at this chart here, where we can see the sales through the last 3 years. So here we have a great chance to see the competition that has been coming for Tesla over this period. And as you can see, even though we are hearing from the many Tesla Qs and analysts that Tesla would not do great in Europe because of all the competition we had here, well, as you can see, in 2021, Tesla was just in front of every one of the European car brands combined. In 2022, every one of the European car brands combined sold just a tiny bit more than Tesla did on their own. And in 2023, we can see that every one of the European car brands combined still only sold a tiny bit more than what Tesla did by themselves. What competition! Combined, the European automakers cannot even really shake off Tesla. Tesla is basically as big as they are combined and has been for the last 3 years. But at least they are as big as Tesla combined. And in Germany, here in February, we did see that the Tesla Model Y is still the best-selling SUV of any kind, so even though they are down year over year, Tesla is still the one with the best-selling SUV on their home turf of the German car industry. And here in Europe, Tesla is still doing great, even though their factory was shut down. They seem to still be the preferred SUV, even in Germany. As I showed in last week's news show, Germany's BEV sales are struggling a bit here in the beginning of 2024 as the EV incentive has just stopped and even Tesla was down in the sales numbers. But Tesla's Model Y still became the best-selling SUV of any kind in Germany in February, so that was very impressive. And therefore, of course, also the best-selling BEV in Germany in February with 5,408 units sold. But one that is struggling a bit in Germany is NIO. They do make some great EVs, but they are also very expensive, like the EL5. That is a pretty comparable car to the Tesla Model Y, but it is about $40,000 more expensive here in my country. So the trick with NIO is that they can show some really impressive front prices because they don't include the battery in the car. But then the rental price of the battery will cost you about $320 a month. You can almost lease a whole Tesla Model 3 for that price. Remember, in the US, you can actually lease the Tesla Model 3 from just $329 a month. And NIO wants people to pay that just for renting a battery in the car they own. And if you buy the battery from NIO, then the price is no longer competitive with something like a Tesla, and that is why it becomes $40,000 more expensive. And the sales numbers do reflect that. Remember, like I just said, the Model Y sold 5,408 units in February in Germany, but NIO sold 27. Yep, that's it. 27. But we have some more surprising things happening in Europe's EV market. Volkswagen is getting pushed further and further down the list of best-selling EV brands in Europe. Tesla, of course, sits on the top spot with no competition in sight, so it seems competition is still not coming here in 2024. But still early, so that might change later, but don't hold your breath on that one. But we do see that both BMW and Volvo and Mercedes have now overtaken Volkswagen in BEV sales as a brand. Could Volkswagen's own brand Audi come in and push the Volkswagen brand out of the top 5? Well, that could probably be a catastrophe for Volkswagen's brand if that should happen, that it can't keep up in unit sales with the premium German car brands in Europe. Seems like Volkswagen was not kidding when they said they saw a weak EV demand for their EVs, as Tesla is selling almost 3 times as much as the EV brand in Europe. Even the entire Volkswagen group is still behind Tesla here in Europe in 2024. Not really looking too good for Volkswagen, is it? But Tesla looks to be full steam ahead, as we also saw this video this week from the Netherlands of at least 40 trucks in a row with Model 3s from China and Model Ys from the Berlin factory. Seems like the demand for Tesla's vehicles in Europe continues here in 2024. And the Berlin factory did start up again after the shutdown because of the terrorist attacks, so that is good to see. But I even think this experience has just made Tesla even stronger, if anything, as we have seen Tesla teams standing together, showing the world they will continue to fight for their mission to accelerate the world's transition to a sustainable future. And we even saw many residents in Brandenburg protest against the protesters of Tesla. The eco-protesters came from all over Germany to protest against Tesla, but hundreds of the locals from Brandenburg showed up to protest against the protesters. So maybe the activists should just piss off and let the locals decide for themselves. And even the mayor of Berlin and the prime minister of Brandenburg showed their support for Tesla. So I really think the terrorist attack on Tesla and the local community of Grünheide has just made Tesla and the local community stand even stronger. And Elon did also visit the factory this week and held a speech for the employees and thanking them for all their great work, and of course had Little X with him, even on stage talking to the crowd. Can you tell me any other CEO in the world that would do that? Nope. Elon is just a one-of-a-kind CEO on this planet. But we did actually get some development in the expansion of the Berlin factory, as Tobias Lind wrote on X, after a vote of the citizens of Grünheide against clearing another 100 hectares at Giga Berlin. A new sketch for an adjusted development plan has been published. This would make all planned infrastructure projects possible while saving 70 hectares of forest. So that is great that Tesla will be able to do what they originally planned while giving the protesters about 70% of what they want. So hopefully this will make the expansion of the factory continue without any more protests trying to stop Tesla and their mission to a sustainable future. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla shorts. The Tesla Cybertruck continues to wow people, even truck guys that many people said that wouldn't want a Cybertruck. Well, check out this video.
It's a Cybertruck. Cybertruck.
Cybertruck.
Yeah, made by Tesla.
That's a badass truck. Dude.
Thank you.
You want one?
Yeah.
Seemed like that truck guy would like one. And Edmunds just reviewed the Cybertruck, and even they were impressed with the Cybertruck, so we don't really have much negative about this truck, and they even liked the build quality. As they said during the video and wrote on X, we own pretty much every car Tesla has ever made, and the Cybertruck is the first time build quality meets expectations. So that is actually a strong statement, considering that we are still in the early ramp of the Cybertruck, because that is usually when the so-called build quality is not that good before they get to the volume production. And Edmunds really did like the truck and said it was actually a very useful pickup truck. What do you know? And the cool thing is that they did compare it to the Rivian and the F-150 Lightning. And the Rivian is really just a lifestyle truck, whereas the Ford is a work truck, but the Tesla Cybertruck is both. Yeah, no one is going to want this truck. And Tesla enforced no resale clause on the Cybertruck, canceling order and blacklisting owners. This is a clause that all Cybertruck buyers has signed, but this clause hasn't stopped numerous people of trying to sell the Cybertruck, like the Cybertruck I showed before that has recently been sold for $244,000 at an auction. But according to a Cybertruck Owner Club's forum member, they haven't sold their Cybertruck but simply listed it for sales literally everywhere, hoping for a big payout. But Tesla apparently got wind of the listing, and the company's loss and prevention team reached out to them to let them know their 2 other Cybertruck reservations has been cancelled and orders fee refunded. Not only that, they have been blacklisted from ever ordering another Tesla. Ouch. Yeah, if you sign a clause saying you cannot sell, you should probably not sell. Just friendly advice. And Elon wrote on X, this week XAI will open source Grok, so it seems like Elon is trying to make XAI into what OpenAI was supposed to be, open sourced. And Elon also said that really cool stuff is coming both this month and next. So can't wait to see what that is. I would love if one of the things was Grok integration into Teslas. That would just be so much fun. And Sawyer shared on X his experience using an Electrify America charging station. And yeah, it was not good.
I'm currently at a Electrify America station, and it's the experience is terrible. This stall the plug took 4 tries for the stall to recognize that the plug is actually plugged in to the front here of the vehicle. And then the guy next to me, who has a Porsche Taycan, his stall was broken. It wasn't working. And then this guy over here, with his Lexus EV. He can't get his stall to work. It's not working. I think he just tried another one, and it's working now. And then another stall down there with the Rivian, I think theirs is only charging at like half the stated speed of what it's supposed to. You know, when you have this type of experience with EVs, you wonder why people are so skeptical about a charging infrastructure. And, you know, when they look at this experience, I can understand that. And then you have the row of Teslas over here at the supercharger. No one's having any issues. It's just a plug and go experience, simple. And I think this is why it's going to be such a game changer for the Tesla opening up their North American charging standard for non-Tesla EVs like this one, because, you know, it's just way more reliable.
But like that wasn't enough, Bearded Tesla also made a little video this week on X and his experience charging at Shell Recharge.
Proud to be coming to you live from right outside of Houston in Katy, Texas, at the Shell station. Shell Recharge. They're very proud of it. There's flags out by the road. And to be honest with you, I would be very proud of it. Number one, the equipment is very nice. And number two, if you thought the oil companies were going to lose out with EVs, think again, my friend. These three stalls, 180 kilowatt stalls. This one does not work at all. It's brand new, by the way. Both handles would not charge. I did get that one to ramp up. 79 cents a kilowatt hour. 180 kilowatts, not enough juice for you? Not a problem. We got the premium boy over here, 360 kilowatt charge rate. All for just 85 cents, 89 cents a kilowatt hour. Like, that is absolutely insane. That is ridiculous. That should be illegal. But these guys have a really long relationship with Congress, so what's going to happen about that? Probably nothing. So we get to sit here and basically pay what it costs to drive a school bus across the country in this, at least on this charge. Thanks, Shell. I'm so glad that you're here.
And just for context, Tesla in the US is about 35 cents per kilowatt hour. So Shell is charging more than double what Tesla does. So if they want customers to charge at the charging stations in the future, that will of course have to change. Or everyone will just charge at the Tesla chargers. It is such a good thing that Tesla has opened up their supercharger network to everyone, because then people can actually have a good EV experience rather than have a bad experience, even if they have not bought a Tesla, and get to experience just how nice it is having an EV. And Tesla has finally begun deliveries of the Model Y to Malaysian customers, so yet another new market for Tesla's Model Y. And the Model Y that is being delivered to Malaysia market is with the latest hardware 4 setup. And we have seen just how human-like Tesla's full self-driving system has got with version 12. Still make mistakes, of course, but according to Elon, the full self-driving beta testers in the US has just got the next version of version 12. And as Elon wrote, this is a big release, should arguably be called version 13. Ooh, I feel like a lot of new and exciting full self-driving videos are coming soon. You know, Elon, in Denmark, Tesla was the best-selling brand in 2023, and the Model Y became the best-selling car model in our history. Imagine if we had version 12 beta over here as well, Elon, huh? Yeah, just saying. And I hope you all saw Starship launch this week, as SpaceX had a successful launch of the biggest rocket in history. And this time around, they did get the big spaceship to orbit and cruised around the planet. And thanks to Starlink, they were able to live stream the whole thing even when it came back down through the atmosphere. We still had live footage. And boy, did that bring us some of the cool footage I have ever seen from the space industry, as we saw the Starship light up. Amazing test where SpaceX got a lot of new data, as they came much further than they have ever done before, and the Starship number 29 is already rolling out to the launch pad. So hopefully we don't have to wait another 113 days for the next Starship test flight, because those are always so exciting. And as that wasn't exciting enough, Figure AI also released a new video about their robot Figure 1, now with OpenAI incorporated into the robot. So they could actually tell it what to do, and it could explain what it saw and why it did what it did. A very impressive demo from Figure. But if you want to learn more, I made a whole video about this week, so check that one out. But what a time to be alive, with starship launches and humanoid robots talking. And the abuse of the Cybertruck continues, as well as Kilowatts took a whole bunch of different balls to shoot at the Cybertruck's windows, including some huge, heavy steel ones. And Tesla's Panzer glass didn't disappoint.
Oh my God! And yeah, let's do it. Oh my God! Wow! I can't even see where it hit. Oh my God! I wanted to break!
But they did continue to throw these huge ones as they wanted the window to crack, and finally it gave in, but was actually only cracked on the outside, so Tesla really does have some crazy strong glass. And they had made the arrangement to go to the Tesla service center to get it fixed afterwards, as they did have spare parts available, so they fixed it straight away. Yes, the Cybertruck is built tough. And Volkswagen eyes 2028 debut of software-defined vehicles, CEO said. Production decisions have been made and the product team has been appointed to make software-defined vehicles a reality. Well, they already is a reality. They just called Teslas and have been a reality for 12 years. But Volkswagen needs just another 4 years, and they think this time around they will be ready. But Volkswagen is ready to take it a step further. As Bloomer also said, we will not only have a software-defined vehicle, but rather an AI-defined vehicle. The structure have already been set in place for this particular purpose. However, Carried, a Volkswagen software company, had an operating loss of more than double its revenue, 2.4 billion euros, the company said. And it doesn't seem like they're going to be making money before Volkswagen has software-defined vehicles where they can get payment from customers for future software architectures. So Volkswagen is looking to lose something like another $10 billion over the next 4 years to develop their software-defined vehicles. I wish them the best of luck. And another one we have to wish good luck is GM, as they have just lost their executive vice president for software and service, Mike Abbott, who was the former Apple executive who came to GM last year to help them with their software and subscription-based service for their electric vehicles. So that is probably not going to help GM much. And AJ showed up a very cool chart this week that showed the development of free cash flow in the global automotive sector. He of course doesn't have all the numbers yet, but the automakers that have reported their free cash flow is represented in this chart. And with a combined 50.3 million vehicle sales, the shown automakers on this chart account for 59% of 2023's total global vehicle sales of 85.9 million. But Tesla has more free cash flow than all of the automakers on this list combined in Q4 2023. I don't think we have seen anything to illustrate much better what is happening right now. Tesla is holding steady and strong free cash flow, while all the others are burning through their cash resources. So that just makes it such a remarkable feat from Tesla to manage to grow at all while competitors burn through their cash resources. Like I said many times before, it is not Tesla we need to worry about. And to help out with the turbulent time with the Tesla stock, I have made a little t-shirt with a simple message of what to do when investing in Tesla. Just hold it. It's as simple as that. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest supporters of this YouTube channel. So let me just butcher some names here. My new YouTube members: Alexandra Volotek, Fred Laxton, Michael Lecoultre, I don't know, and Michael Doe, Twisted Arm, John S.R. Deacon, MD, and my new Patreon producer, Pete Locke. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. You might know Cristiano Ronaldo, the famous football player's famous phrase, "Sí," but you have probably never seen it being done like this. That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot, so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future episodes just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel, or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheet, also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.